Atifu makwaba bade Likee TV ne so na message nenda oba channel ne so ajebre ne subscribe na like se me drop any latest news content abejebre na on set makabi na ye powra ensem ne mo na atifu ensem a epopopa no emse ano edin ye ni nyina ye Supreme Court mu nsensem ene de omuhye na bamba bend nsem bia to dweche se obuo respect eye reciprocal obu na obebu wa muni dia omu Nina ni se ya kwenye se people's parochial interest be Supreme Court ne President Nandanko Akufo Addo person mo the parliament ne nim ye form pese parliament no omo titi omo fa hodie so na eno na omo chem se ono nso ewotumi owo powers no no nso nim the limit na ye momram gintie ensem no ye ba de ka ho na ye de nsem na bebrem.
This is why our generational problems now cause the hypocrisy with us, especially in penny form DNM. Because the padodo DNM no are not willing to let them penny for understand say, you penyinia, you need to do the penny. And intina ehiano, on say ebusuebo they cannot get out of poverty. And Osha Ghana, about 60% of Ghanaians bro. It is because the leadership, Akroma, leadership is important because you make the decision. What in kind of obey no, and then it be affect you be all me kuruma yeldo. Until leadership is very important. Now share court. Look at the court today. It's a joke. At time. Today, you don't know. Like judgment to me free court, but no busa me kura me call law school kura dano. This is not fair. How did we get here? Yeni sorry, I see a school we are singing na. Yeni minyanse we are singing na. Our morals as we sit here. Yeah, the bill if you parliament edi akwakoma president anti-LGBTQ bill and the witchcraft bill. President sign keke nembe yemra ebe sinne on hini be any problem. Your problem is John Mahama. Now John Mahama what money to me? What money to me and what money you maybe say Wendy I went to Mendy. You have not given John Mahama any power. For the past 8 years, Obiama John Mahama to me. Inti dear to me now the man I also only do maybe a John Mahama India. A dear was a president and advice from this also you are going to say John Mahama. Adentina won't kubusa John Mahama LGBTQ. Adentina John Mahama has no questions to answer. He does not even have to answer questions to anybody. The people in charge are supposed to answer our questions. That's all. That is all. Until John Mahama is sworn in as the president of the Republic of Ghana, nobody can question him. Say Ghana send a kwedie or say John Mahama mama answer. What can John Mahama do? What can John Mahama do now? Send the dollar could do 8. John Mahama didn't obey to my. He's not a president. He cannot make a decision to stop everything. He can't. But God being good, we have a president and we have a vice president who says he's an economist. So why are we now asking John Mahama questions? Why are we not blaming the driver and his mates? Car ne koshiase. Yes, a car owner no tifie ne ye blame no. Are you mad? Car ne timuno. Car no aye tim no e woso. Driver no e twi car no rough. Ye bubo aminem, tire pie. Car ne tinem no insuo nwunu. You sit in the car and you are blaming the driver be on the baby. Ask the driver, ask the mate. Mate, I don't know parking your man good car to a one chichiri ni ye. If you say me the abema, abeni yina yigu from. That is what reasonable people do. Mate, ya tikamu, ya parking car ya di abegu so, ya kofa nyoma wa Ivory Coast na yeba. Ono driver, kaya will drive you or the buba minim. Instead, I will catch a driver and say, driver, oba mutim no, opim for Timo, Messro, men fan bar minim kesiano, utim. And I watch a driver and say, driver, we're too short, and a ginyang. Driver and the parking be rest stop be odidia eduane odina no abi na udi because was an assistant no. Se passengers ni nyina gu ha edidia one driver no kwati baby na mudidi if say one wo driver na one nam one wo de mate. Otodo kuna no amane bi. Utumi friend catch and say isi azika no kosi say isi ano ye nam kwan sa fa bi shemu no ye nya asen. You discuss that with your mate because mumie na mo handle car no. Entire den na car ni tu. Na abena ye chichiri gu car ne to no. Abena yigu. Na passengers no mutim ni busa as a driver. Ono mate ya bedi yigu mate ni se me busa driver. That's your fault. I say Jimmy. Inti you get up na on hini bit wo We sit in Ghana. You see, let me show you this. You see, when you see things like these, and let me be very fair here. I don't have any problem with ex-President Akufo, but this is what is worrying this country today. You see, Parliament Asamabe in Pendream Brakasa. The last time Speaker of Parliament spoke, if you are very intelligent, you would know, say, the Speaker was trying to solve the problem indirectly, without people saying, say, he is overstepping his powers. Because as much as Speaker of Parliament is a Speaker of Parliament, on reach, you know that, yeah. Speaker of Parliament, as much as he's the Speaker of Parliament, he has his reach. So as Speaker of Parliament, not or no, seeing himself first as a Ghanaian, no, he can find a way indirectly to send a message to the left and right guys to say, this is the path I want you to take. And when you take this path, I will meet you halfway and this will be solved. Speaker last press conference, he sent a message out there. Also, I have sent a bill to the president. Speaker was speaking to statesmen in Ghana. I say my position here is for me to be the moderator in parliament and the head of parliamentary business. I have my powers and I know my limit. The president has his powers and he knows his limit. The Supreme Court Chief Justice has her powers and she knows her limit. Speaker, or Sharano Kachira Ghana for you say, if you want people to understand, say, I respect my position and respect my office. Through my office, we have done a diligent job and sent a bill to the president. The president should show respect because it should be reciprocal. When the president shows respect, the people in parliament with me will understand that it is only respect that can make us live. Sometimes we will agree to disagree, and sometimes we will disagree to agree. So Speaker, at your press conference, now see, I have sent a bill to the president. So Speaker was sending a message across to Ghanaians to say, you know something? Somebody should understand and tell the president that when he starts to respect my office, I will respect his office, and the Supreme Court will respect my office the same way the Supreme Court wants me to respect their office. I think President Akufo opportunity to speak on parliamentary issues at equals to vacant seat. No, President Akufo's target was Speaker Bagbin. I think to me, I think it was deliberate and it is wrong. You see, as some see, let us stop being too partisan. But sometimes your utterances will show whether you are trying to be cunning or you want a problem to be solved in the interest of everybody, or you want a problem to be solved in your interest. There are two things here. Sometimes you can say it in a way to favor you indirectly. You can also choose to say it in a way that will favor everybody in that room. Ex-President Akufo, as some way or better way, he was saying it to favor his party indirectly. Because ex-President Akufo, the first statement I will do is, Speaker's Bagbin's office is a respectable office. And I believe that the three arms of government, each one of them should respect each one's office. Me or I, as the ex-president, I expect the president to do the needful to show the speaker the respect. Because I've been in that office before. I've been in the executive before. I need to show the leader or parliament that necessary respect. And the Akufo ba and Kobeka say, I was President Akufo this I respect my Bagbin. Now President Akufo Addo, any respect my Bagbin. Now sign that into law. It shows that Bagbin will so understand that at least the office he is occupying, some people are respecting him. Now, from the stance of President Akufo, it is looking like the Supreme Court and the executive, they have power than the judiciary, the legislature. That is the biggest problem. You don't underestimate anyone in this issue. You let every single person understand, say, their powers are equal, and it is. So you cannot just come and say, Speaker Bagbin has solutions to parliamentary standoff in his bosom. He should show leadership. Speaker Bagbin showed leadership. He directed the message to old men like you people to let the president understand from day one, he has disrespected parliament, meaning he has disrespected the constitution. Why are we here? Sometimes issues bar. Let's look at the issues and speak on the issues. Yeah, Jane Nasan was as we so. Bagbin, Jane all the parliament here. Bagbin, I can't in Nasan was as you know. What is Bagbin taking parliament or the coin? But there's a reason why what is happening in parliament is happening. So why aren't we looking at the issues? Speaker Bagbin and parliament, they feel that the Supreme Court and the executive are undermining their powers. And the NPP in parliament are taking advantage of or looking at what their boss, the executive or the Jubilee House is doing, and also what the CJ is doing. That is what they are taking inspiration from. And Nitina Afenyomakin and the NPP side, they don't want to respect the Speaker of Parliament. But this man is the number 3 in this land. So ex-President Akufo should at least know that. Fine, he has that in his bosom. But the issue is, with all due respect, Mr. Akufo, if somebody doesn't show you respect and you have something to offer, are you going to do it? That is what we talk about every day. Speaker Bagbin in his press conference clearly gave a signal that I am willing to even talk to the NDC. But the utterances from the NPP and people like Akufo and no Nadia Bedruha. So you hear every day after John Markin sitting on TV, on radio, insulting Speaker Bagbin. With all due respect, Mr. Akufo, if it wasn't for you being president, I don't think, say, in politics, you are better than Speaker Bagbin. It's a fact. Anamebwa. You got the opportunity to be president before he became speaker. But in politics, when we are putting the two of you, your credentials side by side, he's far better than you. So why are we making it look like, say, speaker is the problem? Why are we making it look like, say, Alban Bagbin is the problem? Alban is not the problem. It's the kids, the NPP side, who are failing to show respect. Into my own statement, I was so shocked, because this is not the time to be making it look like, say, speaker is a problem. Speaker, yeah, they be being sida. What has he done? You see, the guy. All right, we will deal with this tomorrow. You get it? We don't take stance in this matter. You go straight to the issues. Or do you people think Speaker Bagbin in some affinyoni MPP for Kafano? He's human. Maybe sometimes when he's in public, he's the kind who is cracking jokes a lot. But it hurts him. Affinyoni with this saying, that been about politics, for him to be using such kind of words against Speaker Bagbin. Why? Why is Akufo not worried about that? The utterances we are hearing from Atachiani, why are we not worried about that? Are they turning into Onyenipa? Are they because he's affiliated to the NDC Onimnyanza? Why do we do that? Yeah. Let me tell Ghanaians. Anytime Kacho say, when people chase power for 30 years, they are dangerous than tyrants. Akufo Addo is a dictator. Yeah? Yebusa John Mahama, asama esi eye parliament no. Ono pa no, how does he think? Send our audience sanke yen solve no.
Eno sa meka ho asa me se anka me ye mampanyi a me gidi se na anka me ye. Anka memma afenyomaken leader of MPP in parliament akoyi Supreme Court. Na my fresh speaker, my friend leader of NDC, leadership of MPP. Na menya asofopenyin bi any council of state, National Peace Council na abekan yo. Na yahwe se ne besi timi aka asem nafa na esiesie se ne beya parliament ebeye adwuma biom.
That is what leaders do. That is what leaders do. As some way see your parliament, kwasi ampen your Jubilee House wakasa ho. The vice president who wants to be president, has he spoken about it? And we sit here and we are making it look like Speaker Bagbin, he hates Ghana, unpeg Ghana. John Mahama said, if Corner na leader of Ghana. They also yana say, obetima convince a yedian. Afi nyoma kene majority say asem na enye court asem a political issue. Munko yin free court mra. Na ono president no afre eye NPP for. No afre NDC for. No afre penny for. No mu nyina try say hey. Mama yensi entuma go ewa bontene. Let's solve this thing and move on and build this nation. That's it. Kwasia we sorry no didi speaker Bagbin atem. Inti ex-president Akufo, you've not heard this? Speaker has come out with his side of the story. We need to get serious. Let's stop this. Okay? And this is a statement I saw, I feel say, very important to you, the young one watching me. Chatuchi kata akasembi. And every day, me show we so ameka. And as someone is saying, or say, it's not enough to say that the president has too much power and that the constitution must be reviewed. We need to learn to hold leaders accountable for their failures. Or say, it is not enough to say that the president has too much power and that the constitution must be reviewed. I said that 1992 constitution has not been exhausted even 30%. Chachuchi kata say, enye enough say de be ebeka say president will do me too much in the review constitution. No, I was saying you hold the people to account. They need to be accountable for their leadership. When they fail, we need to hold them accountable. That is our problem. It's not a constitution. Mami Kanchiro. I can sit here and tell you all government institutions or all the arms of government has too much power. What do? Do we nullify the whole constitution? Because from what is happening in parliament, you will tell me, say, oh, parliament they have too much power. And I'm a boy. So right now we should go and review parliament our powers. What is happening? Some group two will say the Supreme Court, it has too much power. We should go and do what? We should go and nullify review the Supreme Court, the constitution. Now we will say the executive has too much power. What we are going to do is we'll be shifting blames. What we can do to solve the problem is to make sure that we hold people accountable. That is the fact. It is not a constitution. And let me say this. Let me restate this. There has never been a perfect constitution on this earth, and there will never be a perfect constitution. We will have to make the constitution better by exhausting the constitution and making sure we implement what is in the constitution. Constitution is that Obi also ko jail on ko jail. Obi also so ye realize we will to me too much. That is the problem. Time my friend Paul attended the report by as a sector minister or state ebubo di womuno. That was the day the president was supposed to sack every single person in that document to tell them to go home. And that an investigation needs to be opened into the sector minister's report. We sat here, the president rubbished it. The constitution states it clearly. We didn't do it. So why are we sitting here saying, the constitution needs to be reviewed? I'm not going to fight you. If it needs to be reviewed, it needs to be reviewed. But let's look back. Have we exhausted? Are we holding people accountable? We are allowing people to go through the cracks, do whatever they want to do, abuse the public purse. Today in Ghana, the president and his wife, their wives were being paid monies that were not supposed to be paid to them. They were taking the taxpayers' money illegally. Do you know, sir, all the taxpayers' money for 1 minute, do you know how much affected a Ghanaian citizen? Yetia Samira and Rebecca sika illegally for years. Asanu could do that, I see no problem. Are we mad? They didn't face any consequence. So Ochina, President Biba, na Okoye Bibi na Yirikoye Bibia. Are we going to say Yenchin Tani Panirin Tumana, Ye Jimiana? Samira is supposed to be in jail. Samira Baumiano Rebecca. They were paid illegally from the national coffers. Taxpayers' money was paid to them illegally. The money, they used it in their benefit, to their benefit. And that money could have saved a life. It could have saved a life at Kolebu. It could have saved a life at UGMC. So for them causing that and willingly committing that crime, they were supposed to serve jail term. Why are we sitting here?
yɛde mo ase sɛ mo gye brɛ wɔ daily update TV no so